Get 8 from your
Summer
family
is my
last time.
cousin. My cousin is here so far. But I know my brothers are coming on, and I think my other cousins are coming on. So yeah. I know my sons have to work, so they aren't going to be able to make it. So yes. But
Well, we're recording it. You could show them, but I have to tell you, your family was the treat last year.
Oh, really? Oh, that's sweet.
We loved it.
Oh, that's so nice to know. It's just an honor to be able to participate and just know that, I mean, again, my parents, my little brother, the legacy kind of lives on, especially with my father with his scholarship. I mean, because education was so, I mean, important. It's still important to all of us through him. So to be able to see it, others benefit from that vision of his. I think that's what warms our heart. I mean, I think last year just hearing from some of the participants was just fabulous, just to hear their journeys and how much the scholarship meant to them.
Awesome stories for sure. Thank you for joining us. And thanks for
thank you. Thank you.
All right, Heather, you want me to start? Look at that. Look at all the people. Woo! Yeah. All right, Heather, I'm going to get started if that's okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So I want to thank everybody for coming to this scholarship reception. This is one of the ways that we try to connect donors to those who are the recipients of the donors and of the scholarships and many other kinds of giving. And we're just so very grateful to be joined tonight by Eugenia Gaston Reeves and the Gaston family. Stan and Darlene Spano had planned on joining us tonight. They couldn't at the last minute, but we're sending their regards. I want to welcome all the student, the families, the donor, the Kremen staff and faculty who are joining us this evening. Dr. Becton, thank you for joining us. Selena Van Horn, thank you for joining us. Dr. Carol Fry-Boland, Dr. Teresa Huerta, thank you for joining us. So very glad to have you in support of our students. I'm going to turn some of the introductions over to Laura, and I'll be back in just a minute to announce the scholarships.
Well, once again, I want to extend a special welcome to the Gaston family. You are the donors who are able to join us this evening. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to hear from you guys a little later in this evening.
Sure.
Most of you know this, but for the best possible experience, if you can just keep it on mute until it's your turn, that would be awesome. And if you want to celebrate students, please do. After they're done speaking, you can unmute and congratulate them or congratulate them in the chat. And we just love family members if there's any joining us today. Dean Yarrick, tell us about the first scholarship.
Yeah, I will say we don't have to be reserved. You know, a lot of people just like push the applause button and yay, that's really nice. You can shout and scream if you want to. I'm all good with that. This is something we're good with here. Of all the scholarships and recipients, we want to make sure that we're honoring those who are here and that who are not. The first scholarship is someone who is not present, but we still want to celebrate them. It's the Carol Hansen Scholarship for a student pursuing a teaching credential in K-12. Carol Hansen is an alumni and donor of the scholarship and also of a planned gift. She's also an adjunct faculty at the School of Education at another institution. I don't know why we haven't nailed her down to make sure that she's teaching for us. Carol, that's your job. Go get her. The recipient is Jessica Noonkester, who was not able to join us this evening, but let's all congratulate Jessica. The next scholarship is the Jan and Carrie McKeel Scholarship. The scholarship is for an undergraduate student who's majoring in liberal studies and pursuing a teaching credential. Brenden Sanchez is the recipient of the scholarship, but also wasn't able to join us this evening, but we're here to celebrate. Good job, Brenden. Next, we have the Kathleen Drew Scholarship. This is for a student pursuing their teaching credential. And we have 3 recipients. Yasmin Acosta, as well as Maria Ortiz, are the first 2 recipients, but are not in attendance this evening. We're going to pause and say, great job to both Yasmin and Maria. Woo! I am the only one that's being loud, but that's okay. But we do have Angelina Garcia. Angelina is a native of Reedley and is a recipient of the multiple subject credential student, majoring in liberal studies with a minor in urban civic education. I'm sure that's why Selena is here this evening. Dr. Selena Van Horn is celebrating her own liberal studies student. Angelina, would you like to tell us about what it means to receive this scholarship?
Yeah, but real quick, can I have my parents just show up? They just want to say hi.
Yes, of course. Bring them in.
Hi. All right. Could you hear them? I have my mic on, but here's my mom.
Yes, we hear them.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Are you proud of your daughter?
Are you proud of me? They're saying.
I'm so proud of you.
He said he
Yes,
is
I
so
am.
proud of me.
Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
and congratulations.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
And he said nice to meet you too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
Angelina, tell us what it means to receive the scholarship.
it means a lot. I did not expect winning. That was gearing up my final semester in the credential program. So I was looking forward to finishing last fall, but I still need to improve my student teaching, but that's okay. And I am very grateful for being given the scholarship all for that final semester that we all expected I would have been done. But yeah, I just put so much effort into school. I always volunteer, whether it's for my own nephews, and I also done special education, and I also worked for the after school program as a substitute and just trying out different things, exploring more of the K through 12 environment, or more like K through 8 environment, and just meeting the different type of students, running into students who are also bilingual, and when they hear me speak Spanish, like, wow, you speak a lot of Spanish. And just another thing now, and I'm currently just subbing this semester as a substitute for the district in Reedley. The students, they're just like, oh, you're going to be a teacher. I'm like, yeah, like, so you guys are going to be my students today. Let's just help me out, be a better teacher, and I'll help you be a better student. But yeah, the scholarship again, thank you so much. It helped me a lot for that semester, and it's just something that I'm just speechless, because I've been winning a few other scholarships, but this one was just a big one. And
Well, Angelina, thank you. There's so many good experiences you just described that are going to make you an awesome teacher, and you have such a good heart for it. Dr. Van Horn, would you like to say something about Angelina?
Congratulations. You know, I really love that you highlighted also how valuable and beautiful it is to share our languages with our students, and that we're valuing them in so many aspects of the community, and that we all work together, that we are not in isolation as teachers, that we work with our after school programs, and we work with our subs, and everybody, we're all part of that community together. So congratulations. Thank you for doing all that work in the community, and we're so happy for you and lucky to have you.
thank
Yep,
you so
and-
much.
Thanks for sharing your parents with us.
You're welcome.
All right, so next we have the Melba Walker Scholarship is awarded to students who seeking a teaching credential. Tonight's recipient is May View, but unfortunately she was not able to celebrate with us tonight, so we celebrate you. Congratulations, May. The next scholarship is the Rutherford B. Gaston Senior Scholarship. For this scholarship, a student must be accepted into the teacher credentialing program for a Master's of Science in Education. We have the members of the Gaston family here this evening to celebrate our scholarship event. Welcome, Gaston family. But before I introduce them, I have to say to everybody here, that during the scholarship where we gave the Gaston Scholarship last year, the whole family was there, and the stories that were shared afterwards just touched our heart. And let me make sure that I got this right. Was Rutherford B. Gaston Sr. the one who was a principal at 2 different schools at the same time?
Yes, yes, that was our father, yes, when he started his career in 1963, yes.
So tell us about this scholarship and about him in particular. We'd love to hear more.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I guess I'm Eugenia Gaston Reeves, and I am the only daughter, of course, the favorite daughter as a result, and one of 5 children, and 4 of us are living. And I know my oldest brother's on the line, and my brother next to him is on the line, Henry Rutherford Jr. I'm not sure if Harlan is on. Cousins, Jace or Everett Gaston and his wife Gail, and their daughter Summer Gaston Garris, who is an educator in Fresno Unified School District. And so I think, and I guess I would ask Jace to correct me if I'm wrong, because my father began in the district in 1953, which would make it almost continuously since then that there has been a Gaston in the school district in an administrative or teacher format. I think Summer is a assistant principal right now. So I think that just to be aware of nearly 70 years of Gastons in the district is awesome. So really just, my father came out here, he and my mother with my oldest brother, who was an infant at the time, came out to California in 1949, and with the sole purpose to go to Fresno State, and switched his major and went into education, which he said was the best thing he could have ever done by making that decision, and has really enjoyed teaching, instilled the importance of education. I mean, I think I knew from kindergarten that I was going to college. I mean, that was kind of just like drinking water, that there was that expectation that was instilled in all of us to, do our best. And that's I mean, it wasn't, we were expected to do best. And there was an expression that he garnered from one of his former teachers that he would often say to his students and to us as far as best, and to his grandchildren. And unfortunately, I think all the grandchildren have to work, and so they were unavailable to join us this evening, because that would have been great to even get a chance to meet another generation of Gastons. But he would be so honored to know that students are benefiting from this scholarship. He really would. And so we're pleased to be able to continue to sow into it and ensure the education of students at Fresno State, his alma mater. Yeah.
We are so grateful to have your whole family here. Summer, did you want to say something as a recent principal now?
Christine, Brenden, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
No, I'm okay. I think it would be better if one of his other sons spoke. I see Chip on the line. I see Hank on the line. But it is an honor to work in Fresno Unified School District. And so thank you for the offer.
And later, it seems like he's in Canada coming to the United States just in time.
Uh-oh.
Tell you about a new warning.
I think
So Hank, are you going to say something? I see you're unmuted.
Yes, I got the phone call from the superintendent in the summer of 1963, and I was very excited. And the superintendent told me, is your dad home? I said, he just got in, because he was at Columbia School. And he told my dad that he was now be the first African-American principal in the city of Fresno, and he was principal of 2 schools, Tillman and Emerson. And I forget the writer's name who he was friends with, but every time—
William Saroyan.
And every time William Saroyan would come to Fresno, he would stop by and see my dad and everything. But my dad was an educator, and he cared about not only family, but he cared about the community. He cared about his students. And that was his main concern, was making sure that the students came first. as far as teaching and as far as principal. He didn't worry about all of the accolades and the money he was getting. He worried about teaching the students, because there was an old saying, I forget how it goes, good, better, and best. You know, you probably remember it, Eugenia. I don't remember the saying.
It's good, better, best. And this is the one that he garnered from his elementary school teacher. Good, better, best, never let it rest. Uh-oh. I forgot. Now I'm forgetting it myself, as much as Dad used to say it. But basically,
Good
the
gets
bottom
better
line
and
is
your better
it's
gets best.
excellent. Say it, Summer. You know, I keep forgetting it.
So your good gets better and your better gets
Gets
best.
best. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was, words to live by. Yeah. So great. Yeah. Thanks, Hank, for
And
starting that.
And he cared about students so much. When there were problems at the school, if there were break-ins or anything, he would go to the parents and say, I'm not pressing charges, because he didn't want those students to have a record. He wanted them to do better. He wanted them to do the best they knew how. And his teachers followed his lead. They would teach the students. They wouldn't just be there for the money. They had concern for the students.
Well, Hank, I thank you for that example, because there are some schools who are currently following restorative justice patterns to be able to bring students in rather than just to discipline or to press charges. And I'm glad to say we are partnering with some of them, but perhaps your grandfather actually put into motion something that we only learned how good it was later on. So thank you for sharing that legacy. And I want to not keep Saul in suspense anymore. The recipient of this scholarship is Saul Palmas Melgarejo. I got it right that time. Thank you, Saul. What does it mean to you to receive this scholarship from a family like the Gastons?
So first and foremost, I want to congratulate everybody else that's here with me, celebrating this, sharing this moment. And I want to thank the Gaston family for the scholarship. One thing about myself that this scholarship and all types of people in support I've met along my educational journey is that the support. A little bit about myself is that I was born in Michoacan, Mexico. I came here undocumented. I went my whole K through 12 schooling undocumented. So as a kid, being first generation, emergent bilingual, migrant, all of those things, the thought of higher education, it's not as present. So me, myself, I didn't think I would let alone go to college because of my status. I wasn't eligible for federal aid. It was just kind of, those type of things didn't seem like it was possible for students like me. But it wasn't until my final year, I had one teacher that really fought for me. She said, I know you're going to go to college and I know you're going to do this and I know you're going to be a great educator. And it's funny because I've had people tell me that I have an educator in me before I even knew. So perhaps maybe sometimes other people know before you do. And as I progressed in my education in my undergrad, it became more apparent the issues and injustices in the education system that I wanted to change, that I wanted to be part of. I wanted to be part of those new rising educators that connect with students, allow for students to realize how exceptional they truly are. And most importantly, I weigh heavily in my educational philosophy that education should be accessible to all students, regardless of their background, economically, legal, or anything else, because it is possible. And for some, all it does is take is that one person, that one educator, or in terms of educator, family, support, friends, to really believe in you. And I got the scholarship during my fall semester when I was doing while doing my master's in multicultural multilingual education. I got my permanent residency, my green card, my last semester of college. And it was kind of just like, I was numb, I was shocked. You go your whole life thinking that things aren't possible, and then all of a sudden they are. And that's when I decided to commit my whole education preparation to serving my community, to going back to the community and help uplift those so that I can promote excellence in my community. And just like Dr. Teresa Huerta, my professor, my advisor, and my mentor, she's helped me along the way and seen me grow. We read Paulo Freire, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. And Paulo Freire says that who else is better to go back and liberate the oppressed than those that have experienced oppression themselves? So that's why I think, as a teacher myself currently, I teach dual immersion. These kids don't realize how capable they are as people, and how they're going to be in the future as leaders of change. That's why my teaching philosophy is I believe in equity, accessibility, and to challenge injustice. And I invited Dr. Huerta here, my advisor, and also my friend Raymond to help celebrate this with me. And I'm really appreciative of the scholarship you guys have given me. Thank you.
So well said. Dr. Huerta, how do you follow that up?
Hard, but I did take a little bit of time just to write up a little bit about Saul. So I'm going to quickly just read that so that we have even more of an insight of who he is. First of all, he's a 6th grade dual language teacher at Orange Center Elementary School, and currently completing his project titled Undocumented Experiences, Pathways and Journeys to Higher Education in Uncertain Political Times. The focus of the study is to showcase the benefits of DACA for undocumented youth, as well as to develop a plan of action to offer more support to new rising scholars, K through 12, and the undocumented population as a whole. Saul is viewed as a leader. He has the ability to articulate his thoughts, as you can just see, his opinions on issues concerning linguistically and culturally diverse students. He excels in his own educational background, bringing fresh ideas to the area of research. He is multilingual in Spanish, English, and American Sign Language. It is also important to note that last spring, Saul took 2nd place in a peer-reviewed poster presentation at the Central California Research Symposium. In essence, Saul is highly conscientious, passionate about teaching. He is confident, yet continuously searches to improve. Therefore, I can't think of a better recipient for this scholarship. And now knowing more about the family of the scholarship and the connections between all of you and Saul.
Thank you very much, Dr. Huerta.
Saul, did you say you had another person you invited you want to speak?
I invited my friend Raymond. He's been really supportive throughout this journey and all. I'm not sure if he wants to share anything. He's kind of shy.
That's okay.
I wouldn't be here if I wasn't going to share anything, Sal. No, I am. For the time that I've known Sal, I have never met someone that is more dedicated to assisting his students. I had the privilege of assisting him in setting up his classroom this year, and just the sheer amount of preparation and the excitement that he was exhibiting, just taking in that he was going to have all these kids and be able to help shape their future. It was inspiring, including to myself and to just the people around him. He has this natural aura of just getting people to think and want to challenge themselves, to push themselves further. And I haven't experienced this with any other person. Sal, I am very proud to call you my friend, and congratulations for receiving this reward. And thank you for everyone for seeing the just seeing that pure passion in my friend. And I can't wait to see where this goes in the future. I know you're going to go far.
Thank you, Raymond, for sharing. That is awesome. So the Stan and Darlene Spano Scholarship is next. It's for students pursuing a teaching credential. There are 2 recipients for this scholarship, Marbella Alvarez Martinez and Selena Ambriz. Marbella was not able to join us this evening, but Selena is here. Selena is from Fresno and majored in liberal studies. Selena, would you tell us a little bit about what this scholarship means to you?
Hi, it meant a lot for me, especially I got it during my final semester of student teaching in the credential program. And as you know, it's very hard to attain a full-time position, and I live on my own. So stressing, prior to the pandemic, I was working 2 jobs to save, but the pandemic happened, and I was a paraprofessional for Fresno Unified. So I've been working at Fresno Unified actually have subbed at King Elementary and at Columbia and West Fresno and a lot of more schools. So that detained my financial needs. So this meant a lot. And I'm really blessed and thankful that I was able to receive it. I wasn't expecting, these are things you hope for, but you never quite expect. So it was such a great blessing to have to help me financially finish. And I obtained a position teaching. I finished my final semester in December. So it's been great. And I'm glad I was able to finish my education and not worry as much financially.
That's awesome. Dr. Van Horn, did you want to say something?
I would love to. Congratulations, Selena. You make all Selenas proud.
Thank you.
Yay. It's so amazing to see, we know teachers work so hard and we don't often get to highlight how hard we work to get to become teachers, and that you're working around the clock all the time so that you get to be in the privilege of that position to continue to serve in your community. And we're so thankful for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. My mom and my sister are here. I don't know if they want to say hi.
Put them on screen.
Hi.
Congratulations. Thank you for sharing this with Selena.
Thanks, Selena, for sharing with us.
Oh, yeah. The next scholarship is the J.C. and Pearl McMillian Scholarship for students who are enrolled in a professional teacher preparation program pursuing a preliminary basic credential. Tonight's recipient is Catherine Castro. Catherine's a liberal studies major from Fresno. Would you like to say a few words, Catherine?
Yes, hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, my name is Catherine Castro. I'm here with my mom, Socorro Castro. I don't know if you want to say hi. Hi. So I'm so thankful for this scholarship. I worked so hard to go into education. I think right after high school, I didn't really have that pause that most students probably do, like, what do I do? In third grade, I kind of started being a little teacher to my mom here because she didn't really have the education that I had growing up. And so I always sort of like, I'm going to be her teacher. And so I did little lessons, and that really pushed me to get a degree in liberal studies. I worked so hard and I got my bachelor's in 3 years. And then I went straight into a teaching credential program, was able to do that, had fun doing student teaching and subbing, all during a pandemic, but you got to do what you have to do. I took a pause because I realized, like, I've worked so hard, I need a break. So I took last semester off, and this semester I'm so thankful that I've had this scholarship that I was like, you know what, I have the scholarship, I worked so hard, I'm going to continue to go get my master's. And I have these 4 courses left, thankfully, due to how Fresno State is able to integrate master's classes during the credentials, because I received 2 credentials, one for general education and another for special education. And so I've still continued to push forward doing masters, and also my mom's doing it with me.
Awesome.
Great.
That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you to moms everywhere. Laura, I wonder if you could take over for a minute and do the next, because my dog just took off with my shoe and she just dismantled the other one. So I've got to go get my shoe before it's gone. Would you do that for me, Laura?
I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, what a day. Holy cow. Okay, Heather, help me out. I've been jumping back and forth. Here we are. Okay, our next scholarship is the Mel and Mitzi Farley Scholarship. This scholarship is for students who are pursuing a career in the field of teaching or education. Yasmin Acosta is the recipient, but unfortunately was unable to join us this evening. Congratulations, Yasmin. The next scholarship is the Neverett Mordigian Scholarship. This is for students entering the teaching profession. It was set up by Dr. Harry Mordigian Jr., who is both a local dentist as well as a Fresno State alum. He set up this scholarship in honor of his parents, Henry Sr. and Neverett Mordigian, who were immigrants from Turkey. We have 3 students who received this scholarship. They are Alondra Burgos, Myra, Lira Berra, and Beatrice Hernandez. Unfortunately, they are not able to join us, but we'd like to honor them in this space. And last but not least, we have the Phyllis Barr Heffling Scholarship. This is for a student majoring in the field of elementary education who has started or completed their student teaching. Tonight's recipient is Bianca Castellanos. Bianca was not able to join us tonight, but a round of applause as we celebrate Bianca and all of the students' achievements and accomplishments. So as a friendly reminder, we're recording this reception and we'll send it out to the students who are not able to join us tonight so they can meet the donors who made this possible. And congratulations again to all our recipients. Now I want to tell you, just take one moment and tell you about our teacher honor wall. We have all these brick walls out in front of Kremen. I'm sure you've noticed them. They have names on them. They have little sayings. In fact, I bought a brick for my daughter that says education groupie. So we'd love to have you join us on our honor wall. Teachers are what makes this possible. So on our teacher honor wall, there is a volunteer committee who's worked for over 20 years to honor these heroes. If you would like to create a brick in honor of your student, teacher, or other educator, please go to the Kremen page on the Fresno State website for more information. And at this point, I'd like to just extend a sincere thank you to all of our donors, stewards, faculty, special guests this evening who helped make this event possible. And Selena, I just wanted to say one thing to you, Selena, the student, Selena. I did talk to Spanos right before this, and they had a little family emergency, which is why they couldn't be here, and they wanted to send their regards, and they were so sorry they couldn't be here. So I want you to know they tried to be here tonight. Dean Yarrick, welcome back. Did you get your shoe?
I did, in multiple pieces. I did. Yes, I did. I'm sorry, Chica is adorable, but the things she steals when she wants my attention, it's embarrassing. Well, thank you all. I didn't invite Chica, but we did invite all of you. Thank you all. It's such an honor to meet all of the amazing students and give thanks to all their support systems. We got to meet the parents as well, brothers, sisters. We got to see friends, just loving it. We want to express our appreciation to our generous donors who we've had for so long in Kremen. What a great legacy we have. In Kremen, we often talk about the Kremen community because of how we rely on each other and work together for our own student successes. So this event reminds me of that phrase because it includes not just those who work around us at Fresno State, but all the friends and the family and community members that all together wrap around our students to make them successful. We just want to thank you all. So thanks for celebrating our students with us tonight and for being a part of the Kremen community. And I'm going to leave the mic open so that we can hear lots of incredible stories from lots of people like we did last time. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Congratulations
you.
to all the recipients.
Yes. Yeah, it was good. It's always great to hear from the recipients. I love hearing the stories and this time even meeting family members, that was kind of a first. So that was neat. That was really neat to include family and friends. Yeah.
Angelina, that was so sweet when you said, can I let you meet my parents because they're over here? I just thought that was a sweet thing that you would bring them in. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I told them last week or 2 weeks ago when I got the email for the Zoom meeting for tonight's session. I told my parents, I'm like, how about you guys just pop up in the video? I'm like, I don't think you'll have any time anyway. They're like, but let's say thank you for always supporting me. And my parents like, okay, but today they're actually in a hurry to go out. But they're all dolled up. So I told them like, perfect, come on up. Come to the video.
And Raymond, thank you as well for saying such kind things about your brother, your good friend that is your brother.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and Sal, thanks for letting me be here to well, hopefully not embarrass you as I normally would, but yeah, this means honestly a lot to be able to be here and witness so many people that I know are going to be shaping the future of many lives, and it's very apparent from the minute they walk into the door, and just from the lives and being able to meet their parents as well, you can see the lives that they've already touched and the sparks that are going to grow.
That's awesome, Raymond. You know, Ruth, I don't think I heard from you tonight. I heard from Eugenia, right? And I heard from Summer, I heard from Hank, but did you share yet tonight?
This is Chip and Ruth. I'm actually Rutherford Gaston Jr., called Chip, and my wife Ruth. Both of us were also educators, now retired. We worked here, we worked in San Jose, live in Hollister. So grew up there in Fresno, I did at least, went to Hoover High and then left the city and went to San Jose State. Fresno State's a big rival. So I'm a Spartan. My dad was a Bulldog, but so I'm just happy that all of these young people are going into education, and I wish you all the best success for many, many years to come.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you for sharing that.
I wanted to congratulate everybody. And Raymond, what you said reminded me of the famous quote, a teacher affects eternity. They can never tell where their influence stops. And that is absolutely true. And congratulations to everybody again. One of the things, and thank you to the donors out there and the Gastons. Thank you for always being here. You're such an inspiration. And I don't know who you're pulling for on Sunday, but you know, you've got to think about your dad, your parents. They came here in 49 too. And the 49ers found gold, you know, the original 49ers found gold, but your parents are the real 49ers because they found education. And they have been supporting it ever since. So
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very sweet. And because I live in Southern California, I think I kind of, you know, where I'm going.
Well, I am a 49er fan, so I'm very disappointed that the Southern California team that my sister is supporting happened to win that game.
I would just like to say that what a pleasure to meet the Gaston family. And the legacy that you hold and how important that legacy is in continuing to build our future. And so again, on behalf of Saul and the MME, which is the Multilingual Multicultural Master's Program, I thank you again.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's an honor. Like I said, it really is. Yeah. And just listening to your last name, Huerta, one of our mother's dear friends was, and I was a child, so I knew her as Mrs. Huerta. And we just remember every November after Thanksgiving, my mother would be gone for the weekend because she would spend it with Mrs. Huerta and her family, and they'd be making tamales. And she'd come home with all the different types, the chicken, the pork, the sweet ones with the raisins. Oh,
my favorite.
So that, yes, mine too. So that was just just whenever I hear that surname, I always think of, that's a happy memory for me growing up. Yes.
Yep, same here.
You know, when I think of the Gaston family, it reminds me of a quote I heard that you can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you can't count the number of apples in a seed.
Oh,
that is
I
so
like that.
neat.
I've heard that before. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very neat. Yeah. Yeah, goodness.
Your
Yeah.
family has an incredible legacy and has changed Fresno in ways that cannot be measured.
Oh yeah, wow. You know, and that's thank you. I really appreciate hearing that. I mean, you know, especially because I've been away. I moved to Southern California to go to Cal State Long Beach and then USC for grad school. So I really have been down here primarily, you know, my adult life. So really just to hear that about Fresno, because when I go back, it's like a whole different city. It's changed so much. So just to kind of hear that is just really, thank you, and a wonderful tribute to our parents, really.
Yeah, thank you for that. And like I said, I moved away going to San Jose State, but I still do. And with my brother Harlan, who unfortunately I guess couldn't make it tonight, every time Fresno State's playing football, we're always communicating, texting, how are they doing? So I'll root for Fresno State as long as they're not playing San Jose State.
Well, give Harlan our best.
Will do.
Yeah.
Will do.
Okay, yeah, I think because our niece Shantae was on. I saw her on for a minute, but I don't know what happened. Maybe she needed to leave or whatever. So yeah.
Well, thank you all for coming. People don't have to stay on. I just wanted to make sure we had some open mic time. So, you want to say something?
Yes, I just have one last comment.
Of course.
I just want to thank the Gaston family again, once again. But I want you guys to kind of just think, well, some of you may have already known just how important it is to, well, at least to me and maybe all the other recipients, how impactful it is that, you know, someone out there kind of sees a potential in us and believes in us.
Mhm.
And it just takes me back to how, you know, not that long ago, maybe like 6 years, actually, I was 16. I didn't know college, and here I am. I graduated. I'm getting my master's, and it's just, you know, I hope that one day in the future I can do the same for others. That it's really impactful. That others can see your potential and they believe in you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think Saul, that's great to hear. And just hearing you say that, I mean, you're already going to be doing that because that's already in your heart. That's your passion. It shows. So you're going to be walking that road. You're probably already doing it. I'm sure your students will probably already are saying they're feeling that you're really trying to, you know, you're working to uplift them. So it is, you're on the way. Yeah.
And I would also say to not only to you, but the other recipients as well, hearing some of your stories that you're working jobs while you're going to school, and there's things that you have to overcome along the way, and that you're still staying the course and sticking to your passion and continuing down the road that you set for yourself in the field of education. And so you will be role models for your students. We don't always look at it that way, but they're noticing things about you in the classroom that you may not even pick up on. And you're influencing them in ways that you may not even find out about until, who knows, years later. So continue down the road, and we wish you the utmost success.
Such an encouraging family. Would you adopt me, please? Oh, golly. Well, it's good to see you all. All of you.
Great. And I thank you again for extending the invitation. I think Laura and Heather always reach out, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for including us.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good evening, everybody.
Okay, you too. Take care. Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. It was nice hearing about their legacy. Just knowing that you guys are 3 generations making an impact in education, and a lot of those recipients are first generation students, and here we are stepping into the classroom, and hopefully our future generations can also make that same legacy.
That would be fantastic. Thank you. Good luck to you as well. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.